Hiya, hiya, this is Joey. I'm sitting in my rose garden. They don't look like roses. Well, who painted them? The fertilizer is not very good here. That's why. Actually, the fertilizer is pretty good. In Florida, the roses don't smell. In California, they do. They just got a better grade of horse shit. That's why, or whatever they're using for manure. In Philadelphia, the roses must be very gigantic this week. And in Cleveland, my God, they must be using gladiolas. It's just a real political season, and there's so much fertilizer. Too much fertilizer. We could fill the cities with all this fertilizer. Yeah, it's just too much. When you're older, you got to sit down and watch television all day because you don't have any money, you don't have a life. Does that sound like me? No. You got to watch TV, and you watch it. They've got 3 judges instead of 1 judge. They had Judge Judy, now they got 3 of them on the hot bench. They got 3 aggravating people sitting there determined. See, we graduated too many lawyers. That's the problem. We have too many lawyers, too many laws, and you're not going to get rid of them. Shakespeare said, kill the lawyers. But then, too, you have to find a lawyer to defend them. And there you go. They regenerate. They're like robots. What is it, that little hammer that you hit in the fun house when you hit one of those things that pops up? Another 2 pop up? That's lawyers. That's it. That's what they do over at Harvard. They stamp them out. But people have figured out how to do things like pay extra money for bags on airlines. That comes from a lawyer. Come on. And lawyers become judges, and judges become congressmen. Congressmen become senators. Senators become presidents. And now we have women running the country. I think we're going to have that. I mean, Carole King says so. She's singing tomorrow night. She had the personality of a brick. And nobody ever credits Jerry Goffin, the guy that wrote with her. This is all under Donnie Kirshner. They were at the Brill Building or the 1650 Broadway. All these guys sat down and wrote these great songs, people hanging around getting hits like Tony Orlando tying his yellow ribbon around her piano. And we had Neil Diamond. He was hanging around that building. All these artists did. They all come from that generation, that era of great songwriters and rock and roll in the 60s and the 70s when we went to dance and moved to Hollywood and everybody became drugged. Speaking of that, marijuana's legal in Florida now. It's medical marijuana, which accounts for Trump and having his great property, which is homesteaded. In California, no, it's Florida and Texas. If you go bankrupt and you lose everything in your business and you stiff everybody of all the money, you can still keep your house. This is my low-income housing here I'd like to share with you. This is what happens when you are on my condition, which is a retired jock. See, old disc jockeys never die, they just seg away.